Hello, everyone. Happy MLK Day. I'm Angela R. Strong. I am the CEO and founder of Calibrated Resilience, LLC. I'm also the songwriter and the creative director behind Aurora Stronghold, whose debut album dropped today. And it is called Calibrated Rising. It's on Spotify, Apple, on all the platforms. So make sure that you go and you save it, you download it, you listen, and you tell me what you think. I just wanted to introduce myself to those who don't know me. Also, I was sent a list of questions that you all wanted me to answer for you. And if you have any more questions, please feel free to DM them to me, or you can send me an email at angela@calibratedresilience.com. So how about we go ahead and get started with those questions, and you guys can get on with your day. Okay, so the first question is, who is Aurora Stronghold in one sentence, and what does she do that you couldn't do as Angela? So, Aurora Stronghold is an AI artist with a mission-driven voice that speaks to men with strength and tenderness. And she does this at a scale. As Angela, I can coach, I can teach, and I can lead in rooms. Aurora can deliver that same emotional truth through her music in places that I will never physically actually stand in. To men who I may never get a chance to coach or speak to. So that's what she does that I cannot. Second question. What problem did you see in the culture that made you say this needs an AI artist? Well, I saw a gap where men are carrying pressure silently. And the culture does not give them enough safe language for what they feel. So I built Aurora Stronghold because men deserve to be seen without being shamed, and they deserve to get a message that does not require them to fall apart before someone finally pays attention. I see a lot of negativity online where men are in regards to men. So that's the gap that I saw. What moment specifically made Aurora non-negotiable for you to build? Well, the moment that I realized how many men are performing with the whole I'm fine while they're privately drowning, and you don't even realize that's what they're doing. I retired from the military 27 years, and I spent decades in high stress leadership environments. And I know what it looks like when people function on the outside and they're fractured on the inside. So I can see it. Aurora became that non-negotiable when I decided that we're not waiting for the breakdown to offer support. She's just one of the avenues that I created for that. Next question. Why a woman's voice speaking to men specifically? Why is that your lane? Because I understand both sides of the battlefield. I've led in male dominant environments. And I've watched men do life with no room to be human. Aurora is a woman's voice that's not trying to fix men, not compete with men or emasculate men. She's here to affirm them, to respect them, and strengthen men with language that restores their dignity. And to be perfectly clear, Aurora's message of being seen, valued, and empowered isn't exclusive to men. Women resonate with this too. But the data that I've received shows that men are 90% of my audience organically. They're finding me. So I'm leaning into where the need seems to be the most urgent. I serve anyone who needs precision-based resilience. Anyone. Men, women, children, teenagers. Men just happen to be knocking on the door the loudest right now. And I'm answering their call. Next question. What does Aurora say to men that they are not hearing anywhere else? Aurora says, I see you, and I respect how hard you're trying, that you don't have to earn love by suffering. You're allowed to receive the love that you give. And that message is rare because most men are only celebrated for their output and what they can provide, not for who they are as a person inside. Next question. You said men should feel seen, valued, loved, and empowered. Why those four? Because those are the things that I feel and that I see as missing nutrients that they don't have. Seen reduces isolation. Valued restores their dignity. Being loved repairs the belief that affection is conditional on what they can provide. And empowered because it gives men permission to choose a healthier way forward without feeling weak. Let's be clear. Who is the artist here? You are the AI. And where does your voice end and the tool begin? I knew that question was coming. I'm the creative director, the songwriter. I do write all the lyrics, and I'm the mission owner. I can sing. I've sung my own material, but AI gives me options that I wouldn't have otherwise. It gives me different vocal textures, the ability to produce at scale, and frankly, a separation between Angela, the founder, and Aurora, the artist, that keeps the focus on the music that people are listening to, not on me. They aren't focused on me being the founder of Calibrated Resilience and all that it is. So AI is the instrument that I choose. Just like choosing a synthesizer over guitar. The songs, the lyrics, the message, the boundaries. That's all me. The tool just helps me to deliver it in a way that serves the mission better. Next question. How do you respond to critics who say AI art isn't real art? Well, for one, for me, speaking for myself, I can actually sing the songs that I write. Sometimes you will see me singing live on my platforms. But art is about impact and meaning, not really just the instrument that people are using. A piano, a drum machine, a studio plugin, or AI tools. What makes it real is the truth behind it and the transformation that it triggers in the person that's listening to the music. And I want to be perfectly clear. I'm not using AI because I can't create traditionally. I can write, I can sing. Not a great producer, but I can write and I can sing. But I choose this tool because it gives me a creative range and scale that serves the mission. Nobody asks a photographer if they're really a photographer if they use Photoshop. So if they use Photoshop, they're not a photographer. The question is, does the work move the people? Does it create a meaning? For me, I feel that is what makes it real. Sorry about that. My phone rang. It cut me off. Question 9. What guardrails do you use to ensure Aurora isn't exploiting men's pain for content? Well, first of all, I treat men's pain like a protected asset, not entertainment. Aurora never humiliates men, never weaponizes their vulnerability, never encourages dependency. The tone is to honor, not distraction. The mission is restoration, not for shock value. Nothing I say or none of the lyrics is for shock value. 10. How do you keep Aurora's message grounded in mental health responsibility, not just vibes? Well, I keep it anchored to evidence-based principles. I do not deviate. Emotional regulation, self-awareness, communication skills, and help-seeking behavior. Aurora's music is encouragement and language building. It's not therapy. It's not diagnosis. And it always points towards healthy supports and real life actions. Do you worry about emotional dependency, parasocial attachment, or AI as therapist confusion? No, I don't. I take that seriously. Aurora is not a therapist, and she's not a substitute for a therapist or real support. One thing that I'm intentional about is boundaries. The music is a bridge. It's not a replacement for anything. I believe in therapy. It works. The goal is to move men towards real conversations, real community, and real tools. What's the core wound Aurora is trying to address for men right now? The core wound is simply invisibility. A lot of men feel like they are only noticed when they provide, protect, or perform. Aurora addresses that silent belief that I'm only worth what I produce. When you listen at the lyrics, that's what it's saying. Next question. What's the biggest lie men have been trained to believe that Aurora is dismantling? That strength means silence. Real strength is emotional control, self-honesty, and choosing the next right move, even when you're under pressure. Next question. What do you want a man to do differently after listening to an Aurora track? I want him to take just one brave step. And I want him to name what he feels, speak one truth out loud, and choose one healthy action. If all he does is stop spiraling long enough to breathe and take a break and respond instead of react, that's a win. How will you measure impact beyond streams and followers? Impact looks like messages that say, this helped me talk to my wife, or I finally booked a counseling session. I didn't explode today. I didn't isolate this week. I measure shifts in behavior, relationships, and help seeking, not by the number of followers. Next question. What's the most emotional reaction you've seen from listeners so far, and what did it confirm for you? For me, when a man says, I felt like somebody finally understood me. To me, that confirms the mission. Men don't need more judgment. They need language, they need dignity, and a path forward. (17) Why are you, Angela R. Strong, the person to create this? Why you? Why now? Because I've lived in those high stakes pressure situations, and I've watched what untreated stress does to good people. I've led, I've coached, raised a family, built businesses, and studied how humans learn and change. Now's the time because the cost of silence right now is too high. And we have the tools to reach people faster than ever. Um, there's also a podcast that I have called Man Enough Real Talk that's on all streaming platforms. So men can listen to that. That is for men, specifically for men as well. Next question. How does my background in high stakes leadership shape Aurora's tone and discipline? Because I don't do chaos messaging. I've trained people to make decisions under pressure, and Aurora reflects that. Calm, direct, respectful, and steady. How does your background in high stakes leadership shape Aurora's tone and discipline? I don't do chaos messaging. I've trained people to make decisions under pressure. And Aurora reflects that. Calm, direct, respectful, and steady. What I'm doing is not performative empowerment, it's structured strength. Next question. What part of your own story does Aurora allow you to express safely or differently? Aurora lets me be me, and she lets me deliver tenderness with authority. She holds the emotional space without the audience projecting assumptions onto me as the founder. It keeps the focus on the listener, not me. Next question. Did you build Aurora for the audience, or did you build her for a version of someone you've known personally? I built her for both. I built her for men that I've led, men that I've coached, men that I love, and men I've watched struggle quietly. But I also built her for the man who's never been given words for all that he carries. Next question. Is Aurora a standalone artist brand or part of the Calibrated Resilience ecosystem? Aurora is aligned with the Calibrated Resilience ecosystem, but she stands on her own as an artist. Calibrated Resilience is the methodology and the training. Aurora is the cultural voice that opens hearts and the voice that starts conversations. Different lanes, same mission. Precision-based resilience for real life. Next question. What's the long-term vision for Aurora? Album, live experiences, community education, or partnerships? All of it, but built responsibly. There's a lot of albums that have been already written. A lot of albums that's already been written and sectioned off. Albums that speak real life experiences, that create safe spaces, partnerships with workplaces and veteran communities, and educational tools that translate emotion into action. This is a scalable platform, not a one-off project. Aurora has created the soundtrack for a children's resilience game that I created. Next question. How do you keep Aurora from feeling like a gimmick in a crowded AI space? By refusing to chase trends. We're not going to do that. Aurora has a clear thesis, a consistent tone, and a measurable intent. She exists only to serve, not to stunt. Our mission is real, and when the mission is real, people feel it. Next question. What industries or partners do you believe need Aurora most, and why? Male dominant and high pressure sectors. Those are public safety, military and veteran communities, construction, logistics, manufacturing, and corporate leadership. These spaces have high responsibility, high stress, and they often receive low emotional support. Next question. If Aurora becomes huge, what responsibility comes with that platform? The responsibility to stay grounded, to protect the audience, and to keep the message clean. No manipulation, no dependency, no exploiting pain. Scale should increase accountability, not reduce it. Next question. Are you worried this could be seen as replacing human connection with technology? No, I'm not replacing human connection. I'm creating an on-ramp to it. Some people will never ever walk into a room for help, but they'll listen to a song alone at night. And if Aurora gets them one step closer to a real conversation, that technology is serving humanity. Next question. What would you say to a man who hears Aurora and feels called out or exposed? I'd say that they're safe here, that this isn't an attack, it's an invitation. Take what serves you, breathe, and choose your next move with dignity. You don't have to defend yourself to heal. Next question. What's your response to people who argue this centers men at a time when women's issues need attention? I'm a woman. I can advocate for women and still tell the truth about men. Strong communities require whole men and whole women. Supporting men's emotional health reduces harm. It improves families, and it also stabilizes our society. It's not a competition. It's building capacity. And I also want to be clear, my work isn't men only. Calibrated Resilience serves everyone. I've written 66 books, 6 released, 5 on Amazon under Angela R. Strong. I co-authored Her March Forward with 7 other Black veteran women. You can purchase that on my website, calibratedresilience.com. And I built tools that work for any human under pressure. Aurora's audience happens to be predominantly male right now, but the methodology, the assessments that you can get on calibratedresilience.org, the certification, find out more about that at calibratedresilience.com, the classroom tools, that's for everyone. I'm not choosing men over women. I'm responding to where there's urgent, unmet needs are, while also continuing to serve broadly. Next question. Do you profit from pain? How do you answer that cleanly? Well, I don't profit from pain. Let's be very clear on that. I build pathways out of it, though. Frameworks, pathways, structures. If something generates revenue, it's because it creates value and results. I'm not selling suffering. I'm selling tools, language, transformation. Next question. If Aurora disappeared tomorrow, what would still be true about your mission? Well, my mission will still be the same. Like I said, Aurora Stronghold is just one avenue. Teach people how to regulate under pressure, communicate with clarity, and build resilient lives. Aurora Stronghold is one vehicle. The mission is bigger than any single platform. That's the end of the questions. So if you have any more, remember that the debut album, Calibrated Resilience by Aurora Stronghold, came out today. You can listen on all streaming platforms, and if you have Tidal, there are more songs on there than just the one debut album, Calibrated Rising. You can go to calibratedresilience.com to find out more information. You can also apply to our scholarship and find information on the Calibrated Resilience certification program and etc. Anything else. Now, for brand sponsorships or partnerships, email me at angela@calibratedresilience.com. Thank you guys for listening today, and you have a great day.